So, as a faculty or staff member at Austin Peay, you may be responsible for hiring student employees for your department. And it's very important to follow the procedures that we have in place to hire those students. So, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the process that you'll need to follow to post positions, review applicants, and hire students through Jobs4Govs. And today I'm going to be speaking specifically about how to hire general campus student employees. So those would be the ones that are paid through departmental funds. These would not be your work study or your scholarship students. Any questions or requests for those would still go through financial aid. But in order to hire the general campus student employees, you're going to want to go through Jobs4Govs. And Jobs4Govs is managed by Career Services at Austin Peay, and the student employment process as a whole on this side is managed by Career Services and HR jointly. So just a little bit about why we have chosen to use Jobs4Govs to post out positions and hire students through. It's a great system that's free for students and alumni to use, and it's really becoming a one-stop shop for student employment opportunities. And those may be external employment opportunities in terms of full-time, part-time jobs, internships, and then the on-campus piece as well with the general campus student employees and also graduate assistant employees. And Jobs4Govs requires a resume of all students to apply for the on-campus positions. So it's really encouraging students to go ahead and develop that strong resume, and again streamlines and makes the student employment posting process a little bit easier for the many different departments that have a hand in that, whether it's career services, HR, budgets, or ultimately your department where it starts. We're trying to make everything go more online, have less papers going across campus to get approvals. So just to streamline it and make it easier for all areas. And then this really helps to ensure equal employment opportunity for our students, that all student positions are being posted out to all students who might qualify. And then it's really starting to support student employment as a high impact practice at Austin Peay, where students have the chance to reflect on their skills and build on their skills. And we really want student employment to be something that helps grow our students at Austin Peay and helps them ultimately become more employable and more successful when they graduate. So that's why, a little bit about why we're using Jobs4Govs. But in order to use Jobs4Govs, you're going to have a registration or a login. Good thing is, many of you probably already have a registration that has been created for you in the system. If you're not sure if you have a Jobs4Govs login, just feel free to email Career Services at careerservices@apsu.edu, and we will be happy to check and see if you have a registration already in the system. Please note that this login is separate from your one-stop, in your computer login. It's going to be different. They're not linked through single sign-on. So I'm going to go to the Career Services website quickly and just show you what you can expect when you get on this page for the first time, because this is where you're going to need to go to access the Jobs4Govs portal. So you'll go to apsu.edu/careers/Jobs4Govs, just as you see here. And then you're going to go under the internal employers tab, because that's what you're considered when you're hiring student employees. You're going to be considered an internal employer because you're internal to the university. So there's lots of good information on this page There's lots of information that you can have for reference later. There is information about who to call or email about certain questions. And then there is a guide for how to post student employment, as well as graduate assistant positions. There's forms that we'll talk about in a minute. And then ultimately there is this login button where you can log in to the system. So before I do that, I'll just go down here real quick and show you that there's a lot more information on this page, even FAQs, which I'll reference in a minute as well. So lots of questions can be answered just by going on this page. But if you still do have questions, we'd be happy to go through those with you. Just give us a call or shoot us an email. So I'm going to go to the login portal with you very quickly. I'm actually going to log out because I'm signed in right now. I'm just going to click out of some things that are already logged in. So I'm going to log in for you just so you can see what it's going to look like when you log into the system. And this system is fairly easy to navigate once you get in there once or twice and get more comfortable with it. So this is the screen that you'll see when you log in for the first time. It's going to always have some announcements and tips on here, and then your navigation menu is over here to the left. And when you are wanting to post a job or review your applicants, you're always going to go to the Jobs tab here. So click there and then click Job Postings, and then you're going to see up here the red Post a Job button. So if you're posting a job for the first time, this is where you're going to want to go. And the great thing about Jobs4Govs is many of you are probably going to be hiring for the same types of positions over and over, maybe semester after semester. So once they are in the system, they'll be archived and you can pull from them, the next semester or the next year. So right here at the top of the job form, you'll see copy or repost position. So you'll click show archive to see the jobs that have previously been in the system for you. And if you're new to the system, you may not have any archived jobs, but know that those will accumulate over time as you begin adding positions. So you can go here and you can select any of your old postings and they will automatically populate with your previous selections. So that makes it easier if you're going in to not have to go through this whole job form again. But I'm going to go and show you what it looks like to post a job new for the first time. So since we're talking about student employment today, that's what I'm going to walk through with you in terms of the position that we're posting. So you'll see first question is position type. You're going to select student employment because that is what will let us know this is a general campus student position. So you can have your job title, whatever you want that to be, maybe student assistant in career services, maybe it's lifeguard, whatever the case may be. And the next question is going to be phone number. We need to know what account this is coming out of in order to know where the money is coming from to pay this student. So put the correct phone number. If you have questions about what the phone number needs to be, you can always contact Career Services and we'll help you figure it out. But that needs to be submitted before you'll be able to, well, that needs to be figured out before you're able to submit this form. You'll see we also ask for position number, but if you don't happen to know the position number, that will be assigned by budgets later. Then there is the opportunity to go ahead and put that job description in. So luckily for you, you don't necessarily have to start from scratch on this because there are pre-existing student employment job descriptions out there and pay rates. And we've linked to those on our website. So I'm going to go back over to the apsu.edu/careers/Jobs4Govs website here. And this is something that's linked in the FAQ section. So you go down here to the question that says, where can I locate sample student employment position descriptions and suggested pay rates? It is linked there. So you'll click and that'll take you to sample job descriptions. So depending on how much you want to pay the student, it's got tiers. So you can simply go through here and kind of copy and paste and have kind of all the main requirements that we're looking for in order to make that job description something that we want to see on Jobs4Govs. And of course, you can customize that appropriately as you wish. And as you go through here and copy and paste that, you can go back to your Jobs4Govs account, copy and paste that in, and then you'll see there's some ways that you can really customize your job description here, whether it's adding some bold font, whether it's adding some bullet points, just to make it more easy for students to read as they get to this job description. You can even link a website on here. Maybe you want to link your departmental page. You can do that as well. So there's several options for formatting here. Then the next option here is we're going to ask you for number of openings. That goes along with budgeting as well. Are you asking for 1 student employee here? Are you asking for 5? This is going to help again with the budgeting process. So put that in here. A numeral is fine. And then we're going to ask for location. Typically that's going to be Clarksville, Tennessee. You can also select Fort Campbell. Maybe you're going to have a student working with dual enrollment or something that's going to be in another city. You can select that as well. So you'll start typing that in. It'll auto-populate. You select it, and then you'll know it's selected when it appears underneath in this little rectangular area here. Next thing that we're asking for is work period. That again just is important for budgets to know how long that student is going to be working. Is it going to be that full academic year starting August to May? Is this a summer job? Is this for only 1 semester? Let us know what that might be. And then let us know the salary level. Again, you can go back to the job descriptions and get suggested pay rates for those and select those appropriately. So maybe you want to pay the student $7.25. So you just put that in there, and that again helps with that budgeting piece. Same thing for approximate hours per week. It's going to be 20 or less if it's a student, but just let us know how much you anticipate that student working. And then next question on the form is going to be posting date and the expiration date. The posting date will auto-populate with whatever day you are filling out this form, but feel free if you want to go ahead and fill out the form but not have the position go live until a later date. You can select that there. And then you also have to select an expiration date. Know that that expiration date needs to be within the same budget year just so we can track budget years appropriately. So we want to see all expiration dates be no later than June 30th. And if you have any questions about that, just let us know. Next on the form, there's the ability to add an attachment. If you want to add an attachment about the specific job, about your department, things like that, you can add that there. And then it's very important, this next option, which says restrict applications or activate screening, because this will allow you to screen out your applicants. And I suggest that you go ahead and click yes on this, because it's going to allow you to keep alumni from applying, for example, or maybe, even restrict your applications further. So you have the opportunity to add qualifications here that will just appear for students. Maybe you want them to have great writing skills. You can select that. and it'll just show in the posting, and they'll be able to see that's one of the skills they need to have. But as I was talking about the screening, since it's a student employment position, you want to select current student. And then there's other options, maybe college of study, maybe they need to be a STEM student, or maybe they need to be an undergrad student that has completed a certain class, so maybe they need to be sophomore level and above. You can select all that here to make sure you're getting the right type of candidate applying for your position. You can even screen out by GPA. So if you want the student to have a 3.0, you can put that in there. One thing to note here is that if they're an incoming freshman or they're a transfer student, this is their first semester at Austin Peay, they won't have a GPA in the system because their student information is pulling from Banner. So they may not have a GPA yet, and that may prevent them from applying if you screen by GPA. So just weigh the benefit, the pros and cons of doing that before you do that. If you want them to have a certain GPA, you can always put that in the job description as well, and then just look at that when you're reviewing their applications. So the next part of the form is going to be application instructions. So this is very important. Like I said in the beginning, resumes are required for all student employment applications. So this is how you will receive those resumes, as well as any other documents you request. So we do ask that you always select Accumulate Online, because that's going to allow you to easily log in to Jobs4Govs and see who has applied at any time. It also makes it easier for career services and HR to track applicants and help you out with any problems that you may have when looking at applications. So definitely select that, and then you can also decide to select email if you want to, because that's just going to send you an email every time you do have a new applicant in the system to make sure you don't miss any of those. So those are the two submission methods you will be concerned about. This other submission method, that's mainly for external employers who want to send students to their own application website. Then the next question is automatic application packet generation. I would suggest that you select yes on this, because it's just going to create a packet once your job expires and send you all the applicants in one packet. So that's an easy way to keep track of all your applicants, file it away for later if you need to. Then this asks for optional documents if there are additional documents that you would like to receive. So select those if you wish. If you want to maybe possibly see a cover letter, or maybe there's other documents that you want to see. Maybe you want to see a portfolio for an example or something. And if you want those documents to be required as part of the application process, you'll simply have to select that again under required documents. If you have selected other documents for some reason, it's very important in that requested document notes field to explain what those other documents need to be. Maybe you are requesting a letter of recommendation or something. You can explain that there when you are completing the form. So just be very clear for students as you are requesting the documents that they submit. And then once you have finished that, we're down to the bottom of the form here. You can select to display your contact information to students if you wish. You don't have to do that. And then you'll be able to submit the form. And so that will come to Career Services and to the Budgets and Grants Office for review. And if you are working through this, get in the middle of something, have to come back to this later, that's okay too. Just click save and finish later, and that's going to save this form as a draft for you. So that is how you will submit that form. And then I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint really quickly. And so once you have submitted that posting, you are going to start to receive some automated emails. So you'll get an update that says your job is pending in the system. And then once your job has been approved, you'll get another email that says your job has been approved, just letting you know the status of your job. And so once your job is posted and live to students, you're going to want to be able to get in the system and start reviewing your applicants. So let me switch back over to the live system very quickly and show you what that's going to look like. So once you go to jobs and you go to job postings, if you have a job active in the system, it's going to show here. And you'll be able to see here how many applicants you have so far. So you can click on that and begin, or you can start to click here and download resume or any other documents that you have required. You can also begin to rank your applicants. So as more students filter in and submit applications, you can remember who is first, on top of your list, maybe who you want to call in for an interview or find out more about. And then there is also this status bar here that we would love for you to update throughout the process. Maybe you're sending out emails, maybe you're reviewing resumes. This lets students know where you're at in the process. And then once you've decided on somebody to hire, go ahead and select recommended for hire, general campus here, and click that. And then if it's the other students, go ahead that you haven't selected for the job, go ahead and select no longer being considered here, because students are going to be able to see that and kind of be able to know a little bit better where they're at in the process for that job without you having to send out emails to them. So once you have decided who you want to hire, you need to start submitting some paperwork to us. And you'll have to remember to go in and do this yourself. It's going to prompt you once your job expires, but if you want to go ahead and go in there and start the hiring process before your job expires, you're welcome to do that. We want all jobs for students to be posted for a minimum of 5 business days, but you're welcome to post those for much longer if you need to. But just know that you're going to have to remember to go and start the process to get students hired. So in order to do that, you can go back over to the Jobs4Govs website. And there are going to be some forms here you can download at any time. So you'll see the download student employment request form. You can click here and find a request form that you'll need to fill out. So it's going to ask you about the student you're hiring. You're going to have to put in their A number. You're going to have to fill out some information again about your position, the posting ID, which is available on the job form, as well as the position number, the rate you're going to pay the student when you want them to start, the phone number, all that information. You'll have to fill that out, have the hiring manager sign that, and then send that in to Career Services to get the hiring process started. So in order to do that, and you will see as you go through the posting process, there's going to be a lot of automated emails. You'll get an automated email right before your job expires, letting you know it's about to expire, and the steps you need to take to extend that if you want to. And then once your job does expire, you'll get a follow-up email one day afterwards, just prompting you with the next steps that you need to complete in order to hire students if you haven't already. And it's okay, like I said, to just go ahead and start these steps before your job expires. But know that this email will also be coming to you to remind you about what you need to do. So you'll need to go in there, get the student employment request form off the website, and send it in to studentemployment@apsu.edu. That is going to trigger us to email the student and let them know that they need to attend a student employment training session. And if it is during, the fall or spring semester, we typically do those student employment trainings twice a week, and that allows us to get the students in a room, allow them to complete all their HR paperwork. We're going to send them information about an I-9. And also during that training session, Career Services is going to talk about expectations and do's and don'ts of student employment. And we're going to talk about some assessments we're going to be doing with those students to make sure that they are really getting a little bit more out of student employment than just, making copies or answering the phone. We want them to see what skills they are gaining and how they can write that on their resume and how they can really make this experience something that's going to get them hired later on down the road. So it's required that all students that are going to be working as general campus employees attend these training sessions. We don't want you to allow students to work before they have completed this training session, because if they haven't completed their HR paperwork, we're going to be out of compliance with federal policies for student employment. So it's super important that you follow this process, that you make sure that they have been signed off and completed that training, and HR will send them an email once they are cleared to work. But if you have any questions about whether a student is cleared to work or not, just let us know, and we'll make sure to let you know where they're at in the process. So that is what you're going to do in terms of posting jobs, in terms of reviewing your applicants, and then beginning that hiring process and getting your students onboarded. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to contact us. This phone number is going to send you directly to Megan Simpson, who is the Employer Relations Manager at Career Services. She is over the student employment process and oversees Jobs4Govs. So any of those questions, she'd be happy to help you with. And again, you're going to need to send in your forms to studentemployment@apsu.edu, and that's how the hiring process is going to get started for the students you've selected. But thanks for tuning in today, and have a great day.